we raise a challenge to all the consultants to become influencers of the brand. And the first challenge also, they will need to answer one question. Let's see if they start running from myself. Sorry to interrupt you. I would like to ask you, which is the most underrated soft skill and why?
Questions.
Questions. People don't ask enough questions.
People don't ask. People talk too much.
Attention to detail.
Attention to detail.
In some jobs and some responsibilities, we might miss that.
Okay. And what kind of details should they pay attention to?
Imagine that a person that deals with a lot of data, to understand the difference between numbers.
Okay.
The most underrated skill is active listening.
Active listening. For you, people don't listen.
People they're not used to listen.
Okay.
They're used to answer, not to listen.
To talk.
To talk, yeah.
Okay. And you think this is important because...
This is extremely important. This is a core element of empathy. And empathy is also the most useful skill in any aspect of life, social or professional.
Perfect. Thank you so much for answering this.
Don't come tomorrow again.
No, it is...
I would say I would focus more on leadership, and especially on leaders that they are okay to show their vulnerability.
Okay.
I mean, when you are a leader, you are supposed to be tough, to be rigid, to know everything. So if you are a manager, whatever leadership position you possess, and sometimes say that something is not in your area of knowledge, you don't know it, and you cannot answer it, or even if you have feelings that you have to show, it's okay to show it. I'm frustrated, I'm not feeling resilient right now, I have to recharge. It's okay, you are a human being, you are a leader, of course, but you are a human being, so you need this time to recharge, to feel okay with yourself, to stand on your feet again, and to express it.
Sometimes it needs courage also to accept that you are not the best in everything, right?
It's the part of courage to express it, and from the other part to show empathy that it's okay for you, even being a leader, to express that you are not in a top level right now.
I think that people don't use very, very often active listening.
Okay.
This is the most important, in my opinion, because people that work always in an environment there are with many activity, many tasks to do, they are focused only on what they must see to the other people, and they don't have the patience, the time, the presence to understand what other person want to communicate with him or her.
We are too busy to talking and not so busy listening, right?
Yes, it's very important, because if we want to have a good relationship in our life, in our working lives, it's very important not only to communicate very well, but first to listen what the other wants to say to us.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your answer. I'll come to the food because this is where people cannot run. And I just found one of my best friends here in the academy.
Learning how to shut up.
Okay.
Yes, in the sense that people tend to privilege saying things instead of listening. And at the same time, we know that silence can be a powerful tool. So as a behavior that generates behaviors, it's very important to know when to shut up.
Start listening more also.
Listening more, speaking less, using the silence as a tool to get people to have more adequate behaviors towards what we intend as a goal.
And especially because people care about what they want to say, not what you are saying. So
Correct.
when managing people, it's important.
Yes, that's also a very important thing.
Perfect. Thank you so much, my
Learning
friend.
to shut up.
So shut up.
Yeah.
I'm not ready, thank you.
You're not ready.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Life is like that. Sometimes we are not ready for the challenges that come. So, which is the most underrated skill in your opinion?
In my opinion, empathy is the most underrated soft skills.
People don't think on others; they only think on themselves.
On others, like especially people with like more like technical mind and like focus on the results and goals. Like sometimes have a lack of empathy.
Yeah. And why do you think? What would be the benefit of probably the world? Because I also believe empathy is really important. What would be the benefit for the world if we would become more empathic?
Yeah.
Empathetic, sorry.
Yeah, I think that like the people will have a higher well-being and better results. Like if they will feel that the others care and listen to them, to their needs and like point of views.
Yeah, a lot of talking, not so much listening, right?
Yes.
Ethics.
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 Having ethic, like
Yes.
in
Common, the common rules of the company are not very rated actually in the companies, and the common sense of respect. I feel that companies and persons individually doesn't respect some rules in the company and in the environment. The values, maybe sometimes the purpose, it's not usual rated in the companies. Yeah.
First of all, welcome to the network, and we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I think it's the ability to say no.
Okay. People are too afraid to say no.
I think people, especially in some cultures which are very people-oriented, they will tiptoe around saying no, and they will do lots of justifications for saying no. They find it very difficult to just say no straight out.
What would be the benefit of saying no straight out?
Boundaries is the first one,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
I think prioritizing one's own objectives as well, because specifically if you're a manager, because for a manager, if you don't say no, you take on a lot more than you should be taking on.
All those monkeys.
All those monkeys.
So my friend Joko, I'm happy to have you here.
You got me.
Especially in Indonesia, I don't know whether it is applicable to all. It's the power to get back up.
Okay.
Resilience. Meaning it's like almost like a positive attitude. Whenever you success or fail, you analyze and you get back up. And do better every time. Not crying under the table or whatever.
Yeah, they say no, that the failure is like, no, success is going from failure to failure.
Until you have the success. Correct.
That's why you're so successful, my friend.
Thank you. You're too.
Thank you for your answer.
Best YouTuber.
Oh, this is a very good question, in fact. And I think, when we talk about soft skills, we usually talk about empathy. And in empathy, one of the most underrated, I think it's eye contact.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that this is something that people always forget. Even if they are trying to take care of people and so on, having eye contact with someone is very important, and we always try to avoid it.
Why would you say it's important? What are the advantages of having eye contact?
It's to show, not only to say, but to show your empathy with respect to other people.
You're interested in the other person. It's like...
Exactly, this is really key. When you have to say nice things, that's no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, but when you have to say things that are a little bit tough, and this happens sometimes, if you're a manager, you need to say also tough things. You need to be sure of what you're doing. You must show your assertivity, and not just say, I wanted to talk with you. No, look at the guy in front of you, look at the person, and tell the truth.
Okay, really nice. Thank you for your answer.
Welcome.
I'm having fun
Yeah.
at our academy. Yeah, a lot.
I would like you, before answering the question, to give us a little bit about what do you think about this new era in social media? Why are we starting to do all these things?
Is a whole new world, really. We are in a learning process. And we are very happy and we are lucky because we do have different generation profiles on board that can really take the company in this adventure. And it is a trend we cannot avoid. Actually, I think we should embrace it and explore it step by step.
So people seeing this should expect more from us, right? More surprises, more videos, more content.
For sure. I think it will be a matter of starting. And then we'll see where it will lead us, right? Yeah. Don't thinking too much. Just bringing the people we have inside our community, our global community, to the discussions, to their reflections, their episodes, whatever. I think we have relevant matter to share.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start the first discussion. Which one is the most underrated soft skill in your opinion?
Not an easy one, okay. I choose sense of humor.
Ooh, amazing. Why do you think this is important?
I think it is possible to combine professionalism, engagement, with a light look over things in general, over life, over work, over friends. And the more we can do it, I think the more fun we have in the journey, along the journey.
And I think we have good examples here in Dynargie about that, right?
Precisely, and that was what inspired me, because I was struggling with the question, and then it came to me, it's like, we do work a lot, and we do have so much fun together. So it is more than possible. I think that this is why we work together so well, because we do have fun together, we laugh, we I don't know, it's really part of our culture. I cannot imagine these academies or these meetings too serious, too formal, and still I think we do good stuff.
And despite the cultural differences, the different people that is here, different ages, different cultures, it's crazy how we get along, right?
Over lunch, I was commenting that with some people we have in our Dynargie global network from Egypt, which is some of the surprises I face when we visit different countries and operations, Dynargie operations, is the sense of humor sometimes is surprisingly close. No. It's like, we find, funny and interesting the same type of things, and that's so good. So it's like, let's have fun. Yes, it is true. It is true. It is not so cultural dependent. I think it's more personal profile, and then if the space exists, the context allows, it's really good to have fun together.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you.
I think it's resilience.
Okay. Why do you think this is important?
Because we focus a lot on other stuff like empathy, like courage, the technical things like how to organize stuff. But in general, I think resilience is left behind because we promote actually in our classes also the empathy, the courage, and the coaching abilities, all these things. But people, they have lots of pressure nowadays. Okay, long hours, lots of pressure from the management to achieve results. So we talk about work-life balance, but this is not always possible. So resilience is something that will help people have a better working life while achieving the results.
Okay, yeah, and sometimes even we make all these plans, like you said, but we know that we plan, most of the times plans are not going to go our way, so we need to continue, right?
Companies organize meditation, sessions for the employees. They speak about work-life balance, but in the end, we know the score. So maybe resilience, should come up.
Interesting answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you're seeing this video, don't forget to subscribe.
What I have noticed is that many people miss, they don't have the conflict resolution skills, which is a combination of different skills, like people need courage to deal with a conflict, they need active listening to understand the other side, there is negotiation involved. So I believe conflict resolution is something that people, don't appreciate as a skill, but they need it. Because there are many people, that I have experience in trainings, etc., that they say, I avoid conflicts. So it shows that they do miss this skill, and it's something that it's unavoidable. Conflict is everywhere. Simple conflict, or bigger conflict.
And building on what you're saying, sometimes we think conflict is always negative, and it's not. Conflict can be positive.
Yeah, it can be positive, and that's why there is a connection between conflict resolution and negotiation. Because in a way, when you deal with a conflict, you need to negotiate in order to come up with some resolution that it's a win-win situation for both.
I could say maybe the skill of adapting to different, to adapting to others means that recognizing the needs of others or the needs of communication and adapting your approach, adapting your way of thinking to others in order to influence their actions and even only to provide some information to them. So we are talking about talking about leadership, about team, problem solving, definitely innovation, yes. But this simple thing is very crucial for me. Trying to understand the others, to understand the difference, to respect that, could be a different approach than me, and to try to make this move and to adapt to others. So maybe this is...
Well, I will say that is empathy, because I think it's a very challenge one for humans. We all seek the same thing, that we seek to be understood, but when we are in a relationship with someone, in a communication, we always seek to instead of understand the other, to be sure that the other understands me. So I think that's the difficulty, because the empathy, it's nothing about that. It's the skill or the capacity that we have to understand the other, and that I think it's the most valued skill nowadays, and the most underrated.
We have forgotten that we started to be a society. We started like a society, and we're starting to think like individuals more and more and more.
Yes, for sure.
What would be the benefits if we increased our empathy?
I don't know. The communication between people, they will work together as a team, the collaboration. The organization will have some great ideas, and even the spirit, the work, the mental health. Nowadays, everyone talks about mental health. Will be more easy to achieve, because people will feel more understood, and also that they can be involved and contribute to the organization.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you, Mike.
I had practice. Because I answered this question a while ago. I think the most underrated, or let's say less practice, or less put as a standard these days, although we often fail because of that, is a thinking soft skill, which is our ability to practice synthesis, not analysis. It's our ability to, we have been learning from school and even in the universities and our education system, even the businesses, show a lot of appreciations on our analytical skills. How do we take one problem, break it down,
So we can solve part of it, and then we can solve part. And this is very valuable. And this is not something not to focus on. We need that. We need analytical skills. We need analytical mindset, because the more complex problems we have, the more our ability to solve at least the one solvable with analysis, we're going to need it. Exactly because of the same reason of the increase of complexity, our ability to choose which ones we work on and which ones we take the risk with. I think this is a thinking skill and a behavioral one at the end of the day, because we have to decide not to make things simplistic, but simple enough to have a meaning, and to put our resources, our energies within the department, within the company, and maybe globally, into the most important problems or opportunities to do that. And I don't think we have been valorizing enough this skill set.
Being our marketing expert, some message for our followers that are going to start coming to the video. Why are we starting to do this new positioning, these new exercises?
Yeah, I think what we are after, what we are looking for, and what we realize in Dynargie is how do we help people work in order to create impact, meaningful impact, not just results, but meaningful impact through their soft skills, through their thinking skills. And I think this mission is more relevant than ever. Exactly because of what we said before. So I think as the main message is, how do you decide what impact you would like to create, and how do you keep that alive, and how do you make people who believe what you believe come on board and achieve something better than we could achieve ourselves. I think this is the key mission involving a lot of companies, a lot of teams, and this probably will be driving the agenda of the relationships within the business in the next few months. This is where we are, this is what we do, and if you have a problem or an opportunity in these fields and you need some kind of help, we can think of that help, or we already can look at our resources and find a way to help you to do that quicker and better.
Yeah, so contact us if you need anything, right?
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much, George.
I would say active listening. And why? 3 reasons. First, because it helps to have a deeper understanding. When people feel that they are listened to, they feel more respected. We understand their needs, their emotions, and their feelings. That helps us very much. And the second reason is because it also helps you influencing others. Why? Because people, when they feel that they are hurt, they also want to hear your opinion and listen to your opinion.
You told me there were 3 reasons. Which one was the third?
I forgot the third.
I think that influence tends to be probably my ranking number 1. And I think that we are losing that skill. We are not giving the proper attention to that skill. I have no scientific explanation behind, but I strongly believe that it's a kind of skill that we need patience. We have to be resilient, so probably there's a skill behind the skill, okay? And nowadays, probably some generations and or at school, we are not influenced to use influence, and we give up easily. I think we are more in an era that we see life as being on a Mac drive. I have the cheeseburger immediately, and there is no influence there. And influence requires definitely some medium, not too long term, some medium return. And we don't have or patience or time. That's why influence for me, it's a pity that we are losing. But it's good that not all have that skill, because those that have, they'll have an added value.
We're expecting just to people say what we are saying.
Yes, we are under in a and or logic,
and influence is definitely everything that is between and or. So it's all the gray zone. But it's where we get what we really want.
What could you tell our followers about this new positioning, these new things that we are doing now?
Am I overselling if I say that we are trying to influence? Probably yes, because we believe that we have, on top of the experience and the diversity of people inside the company, if we influence people to have a better life, to be better managers, I believe that is part of our mission. So, okay, I'm overselling it, so we're trying to influence.
Perfect, thank you so much.
I'm not sure that I can find one word for this. No matter if it is in a business world or personal world.
The one you think in the world, yeah.
I believe that the one most I have in my mind is to have an organized, family, and to have a home which is very organized and nice, to keep the balance between the husband, the kids, the course, the business. So to have the appropriate behavior also in the business world and skills, and actually to be able to be anywhere with a correct approach, let's say, and attitude. So I think the balance mostly women have between everything is the most underrated, I believe, skill.
I would say make questions.
Okay.
Make questions.
People don't ask enough questions.
Not enough questions.
What is the advantage of asking enough questions or more questions?
Yeah, more questions. In fact, the most advantage is that you deeply understand the other side, and this is the most benefit that you can do. That you can have, in order to provide a better solution to your client, your other person, your friend, your colleague, whatever.
Something I also like about questions is that you make the other person reflect more even.
Yeah.
Sometimes you ask the question that they didn't thought about, and that helps them also.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, you can also not only help the person to grow, to develop, and if you have like an idea and to help the person to grow, you can make the certain question that the person can reflect on that in order to achieve your own point.
I think it's the ability to tell stories. Humanity has developed because each generation has told stories that have transcend other generation. If we lose this ability, the ability to tell stories, we lose the main element of connection between generations. So I think this ability is so important. We must develop our ability to tell stories that transcend and to convert the knowledge into the data in knowledge and the knowledge in stories that transcend.
In my opinion, is the empathy. Because in a training, for example, if you ask to the participants if they know what is empathy, then 99.9 people knows to give an answer, but the 80% don't apply well. Only the 20% apply very well.
They know the definition, but they don't know how to use it, right?
Yes. Because most people think the empathy is only to hear, listen, the things the other say, but the empathy is really listen the other with the heart. Okay.
This is Mike Martinez from Mexico, and this has been an amazing week. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get some tips from our answers, and whatever question you have, please don't hesitate to ask. See you soon.